Listen up! You are now listening to News with My Fiancé with DJ Ambush and Morgan Jones.
How are you this fine morning? Welcome to News with My Fiancé with Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush, right here on the X-Rays and the FMs. It's Thursday morning. It's 7:30 because we started on time, you know, and it's great. Why am I rambling? Oh,
I just stubbed my toe.
okay. Well,
Stop the show. Everything has to end.
it's a little less than great now. Toes have been stubbed.
I'm not going to have a big toe.
Oh,
my word, bird.
left or right?
Left.
Your non-dominant toe.
Okay.
So, I think we'll be all right. And this is just me making an assessment. I'm not a medical professional at this time.
Wow.
What? I said at this time.
At this time.
Yeah. So everyone needs to clock out at some point. So.
I see.
Yeah.
So the expertise also on vacation.
Listen.
Out of office.
Yeah.
Cool.
I thought you were going somewhere else though. It's magic. But I like that you went the office route because now I'm going to use it. FR.
Okay. Okay.
Hey y'all.
Good
How
morning,
y'all doing?
fiancés.
How y'all doing?
Good morning, friends.
Oh,
Good morning, family.
man. I am, not to make this all about me.
Well, please do, actually.
In a recovery of recoveries. It feels like we're still continuing from last weekend. Like, it's just
Nothing has ended. I don't know
events.
what you think.
Yeah. Wow.
Nothing has changed but the day.
Yeah.
None of the activities have ended, stopped, taken a pause.
Yeah.
Parents don't take a pause either.
No. Dear Thursday morning listeners, in case you're not a Monday morning listener, a Monday night listener, don't worry. This week, you didn't miss a thing. We had to take Monday off to recover from the flurry of events from last weekend. And now here we are, bam, about to run into another one.
Yeah.
Woo, wowzers.
But with no break in between, I want to be clear.
Yeah.
There was the break taken Monday, which was we're going to recover, but I wasn't in
A spa, a massage.
There was no rest or relaxation.
Yeah.
Certainly no rejuvenation.
No, man.
You kept going, and I was sat down, if you will.
That's the extent.
Just the weight of the atmospheric pressure just sat within my own head. I don't know if anybody else was impacted, but it certainly felt like, my teeth were going to fall out and my jaw was going to fall off.
Morning, AJ. She said, good morning.
Good morning. So there was no...
Yeah, you were migraining tough this week, bro. Auras, all the things.
All of it.
Is it possible to get multiple types of migraines at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. So you can I get this migraine and that migraine. So we know there are different triggers. So it's possible to go to Bend, get your altitude triggered migraine, and accidentally someone slip you some goat cheese, and then double migraine-y.
Yeah, different symptoms sometimes.
That's not what's up, bro. Wow. I'm glad you don't have any supervillain enemies because they'd get you.
Yeah, too many forms of kryptonite.
Yeah.
For me.
They dose you, and then you'd wake up in Bend in some underground lair. And already it's altitude-wise, we got her. Yeah. So now we can, torture her and ask her questions about the rest of the Justice team or something. The X-Men.
Man. That'd be silly.
Your teleportation powers wouldn't work.
If anybody's asking me questions that they actually want the answer to while I am in the middle of a full migraine.
Sorry for you.
That is the torture. This is a neurological event. It isn't as if this isn't just a headache. You don't just ibuprofen your way out of a neurological event. So the brain ain't working the way that it's supposed to, I guess is my point. The synapses ain't synapsising.
Yeah. You're not going to get what you're looking for.
You're not going to get what you're looking for. You're going to be like, what's your middle name? And I'm going to be like, Rose? I don't have one, but I will, my brain doesn't work.
You'd be like, what's yours? I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is yours Catherine?
Michelle said to me, referring to myself, not in a non-medical professional capacity this morning, Michelle says, Ambush is just wise to the risk of radio malpractice lawsuits.
Well, finally, somebody is wise to it. Alex Jones thought of something, huh? Good morning, Michelle.
Oh my gosh. And then she says, somebody save Morgan from the air pressure. Or at least, how about some affordable, preventable health care? That'd be cool.
Seriously.
Preventive health care. Yeah. That'd be cool. Oh my gosh.
That'd be so cool. I don't, if any neurologists listening?
Man.
Anybody out there?
Where's that Stephen Christian? That guy was really getting to the business. Maybe he'll be in My People's Market again and we can get a follow-up consultation. He was breaking that stuff down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like...
Sorry, I had to...
think about it.
Yeah. Hit the Rolodex in my mind.
I feel like I know more about migraines now. Excuse me, sir?
Yeah, it'd be cool. If there are any neurologists out there, you got some insight...
Oh,
I'm sure your schedule is filled until 2028. That's what everybody else's is. But, you got some free time to send a text message?
Yeah.
Help us out.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Because the preventative part, it's like knowing the triggers is great. And then not being able to do anything about weather. Yeah. Atmosphere.
The preventative part is like leaving the earth.
For that one, yeah.
I need to be in a different ecosystem altogether.
And like, what are we going to do there? Colonize Mars. Come on. Oh, Elon.
No.
He had the right idea, baby.
Oh, God. Don't you have a migraine? Bring it down.
I don't. Not yet.
Like, don't wish evil upon me.
Not yet. You just wait. It can happen at any time, ladies and gents.
Step right up.
Yeah.
Guys.
It'd be right on its way.
Oh, I started out the show saying how exhausted we are. And then look where we are already. Energy turned up, all laughs and giggles, having the greatest moments of our Thursday morning. It's because of you guys. You jump right in with these text messages. You give us the energy. It's amazing. Thank you. And welcome to another episode of News My Fiancé, like our podcast editor, Kyle G.
Yeah.
And you know what it is.
Just finish?
Don't let the systems.
I am literally so confused right now.
No, we're not.
Can you take use the energy, right?
Yeah.
But not for like a delusion.
Oh.
Don't get delirious. That's what I mean.
Then what should I use the energy for? Just the news?
Yeah. Powering through.
Okay. I can do it.
We're going to talk about a few things today. Mm-hmm. In local news, City Council does some tricky dance moves.
That's the way to put it. That's definitely.
They put a right foot in, took the left foot out.
Put the left foot back in. And
they unremanded the remand. And we're going to chat about it. And in national news, I thought we were never forgetting. I thought that was, if there was anything that was American, it was never forget. But it turns out that the Trump admin is pulling a bush. We need to make sure we're not falling for it out here.
Too late.
But first up, Ambush, which way do we want to go? Do you want to...
Let's start on the high note with New York. Oh, New York. Oh, how you did
Manhattan.
how you did not disappoint me. And I'm going to be honest. I was very scared.
You were prepared to be disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. Because look where we are now. But anyways.
Shout out to Zohran Mamdani.
You guys showed up.
Won the primary handily. Well, you know, they say it's not all the way over, but it's looking pretty over.
It's pretty solid there.
It's really interesting how this is being reported by different news outlets. Oh, that's one of my favorite things, is seeing how we go from like some, you know, headlines are going to be like historical upset or, you know, underdog, blah, blah, blah. And then some are like
socialist terrorists,
communists, Hamas sympathizer.
There it is. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Turning New York into the Islamic State.
Yeah.
Sharia law.
Yo, the amount of racism that is permeating through the media right now is wild, especially about this race.
Yo.
It's so wild.
You have to laugh. Like I know that I've said this before here. Like, shout out to Can Jones.
Right.
He has consistently said sometimes racism is just funny.
Sometimes it's well written.
Sometimes it's hilarious. Sometimes you just have to laugh because there's no other way to get through it.
What else?
Right? Like there's just nothing.
Yeah.
But this right here is so. It's like the Kamala misogynoir that was just rampant.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you really just saying these things like that? And you still think this is coded?
Right. Right.
This isn't just like, you're just basically saying the hard ER. Like, and in this case, it's amazing. It's amazing how we as a
populace,
will literally be like, is that speck of dirt over there anti-Semitism? I think it is. But any Islamophobia is like, well, that's just facts. What? Like, not even close, not even a little bit. Yuck, 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 yuck. Disgusting. Obviously, incredibly racist, incredibly xenophobic, like Chris Cuomo. Let me just do this real fast. Mamdani wins, meaning that Andrew Cuomo, disgraced former governor of New York, disgraced.
That's the part Chris left out.
Yeah, Chris forgot to mention that part.
Oh, okay.
He did say Google my daddy, though. I don't know if you saw his little... Oh, well, he was listing real Democrats, real ones, you know, not the communists that are...
Yeah, taking over.
Mamdani and AOC and, I don't know, one Bernard Sanders, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
The way that they are, like, Chris Cuomo now sounds like Cenk from TYT. And they all, except for, this is what kills me, Cenk is Muslim. So he doesn't do that to these things.
Right.
But he sounds like Alex Jones for other things, right? Now Chris Cuomo is sounding like Alex Jones, but really Sam Harris. Do y'all remember who Sam Harris is? Sam Harris was one of the big thinkers of the marketplace of ideas, if you will.
All right.
And really, he was just a humongous Islamophobe who was pretending to not be, and was just like, you know, really all religion is questionable, but this one is the dangerous one.
Now that I see his face, I totally remember this dude.
Yeah.
American philosopher and neuroscientist.
Yeah, none of those things is true. None of them are true. He basically, helped Bill Maher become more of this he is today.
Gotcha. Okay.
So here they are sounding like Sam Harris. They're doing this is inherently a dangerous. Everyone's a Hamas sympathizer or,
Yep.
pro-terrorist organization. Yeah. It's very interesting to see what we're still even allowed to call terrorism. Like,
you mean that
Chris
guy?
Cuomo has been doing the news for 115 years, and he's still like, terrorists.
You mean that guy that went door to door trying to kill Democratic legislators isn't a terrorist?
No, that guy's misguided.
Mental health issues.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably going to be something diagnosable,
Gotcha.
We could just sit him down with a doc, get him some time.
And some burgers.
Get him to open up.
Gotcha.
Trauma in his life.
All right. Fair enough.
Chris Cuomo he's salty. His brother lost. His brother had to concede. And so he was like, I've had it. This guy's, 12 years old and he's a Muslim and he is a Hamas sympathizer.
And he's making a bunch of promises he can't actually facilitate.
The far radical left.
Eric Adams was on Fox already, jumping in. This guy's new. He doesn't know anything. He's saying he's going to do this and saying he's going to do that. And these are a bunch of things that just can't be done.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that. He doesn't know he can't do it.
Oh, so it's really not his fault either. He's just so naive. That's hilarious. Super hilarious. Like, Eric Adams was like, what I'm not going to do is get primaried within my own party. So I'll run as an independent.
Right.
I think there's something else to that.
Yeah.
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 I think there's some other things there.
Yeah, I think so too.
But this is huge. The reason why I wanted to bring up Chris Cuomo is not because he is on CNN anymore, because he's not. But he is on the old News Nation. Mm-hmm. And it is questionable for me and always has been, being a news person and then your brother is
governor,
an elected official. Mm-hmm. The reporting, not always so great when it had to do with your brother and the scandals that your brother had. Always a little questionable there. I remember him definitely being like, this is tricky, so my colleagues on this network cover a lot of things that I don't. Mm-hmm. And that sounded so great. Mm-hmm. You got time to do a rant about your brother losing. You got time to say that he's a real Democrat and these radicals. It's amazing the words that they use.
Who do they think they're talking to? This was a man that was elected by the citizenry, by the public.
Yeah.
So how radical is he?
Well, all of those citizens were brand new voters that, are new to voting. Every single one of them. There was a
pundit talking about the polls, and they were like, well, to be fair, this particular poll was like 70% college students. So we can't really go with these numbers.
So, those young people really have yet to figure anything out.
They're so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So young, so naive.
So unfigured.
One of these days they'll learn about the way these things work.
Yeah. Capitalism. They'll get all wrapped up in that. We'll have them subdued.
This is an amazing moment.
Yeah, truly is.
And I want to continue that momentum. I want people to see and be inspired by a win like that. It isn't, he is not the mayor yet. But this is using your imagination, organizing around it, and going for exactly what you want your city to look like, or how you want it to serve you and serve the citizenry.
Right.
And it's really important for us to be centering those voices and not, the politicians who are literally there, Eric Adams, to do corruption and have a title.
Right. Like mad corruption.
Just
like
the
super corruption.
Yeah.
Super corruption, guys.
I'm going to continue to bring this movie up, the 7-5. If you haven't watched the 7-5,
right,
do yourself that favor. Just so you can understand a little bit better how brazen New York City police officers are with their corruption.
Dog. Like, unmatched.
Because it's hard to keep, we have talked about this a million times. There's this thing that you think you do this job, you must want to, and you must want to be good at it. Yeah.
No.
One, the description of the job is different for them and than your idea. And two, the real job is the corruption. The real job is finding a way to get Porsche money off the books.
Porsche money.
Yeah, the real
I love it.
The real job is I need a boat.
Yeah. They do love their boats.
They love their boats.
They love their boats. Michelle said the New York mayoral race is really a clear demonstration that we didn't get this far in dismantling democracy from Republicans alone. The Democratic Party have not been great fans of democracy for some time either.
Talk to them.
Yeah. And we got another text. All the Dem gatekeepers are floundering. Don't know what to do when their gates get blown out by Zohran. The NYT, New York Times, has done him so dirty. Oh, hi, good morning. It's Jess.
Wait, what?
It's Jess. Oh, Jess.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Good morning, Jess.
Squad. Yeah, New York Times. I haven't seen a media outlet not do him dirty. I haven't seen a major media outlet not do him dirty.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to think.
You're like, It's been all backhanded if there were any compliments. And as great as this win is, now is the real fight. Everyone needs to understand, this is because the ramp up's about to happen. Eric Adams is going to get Republican and Democratic support. Okay? He's also going to, where was he getting, who's he a foreign agent for? Was it Turkey?
Who?
Eric Adams. Istanbul?
Yeah. Is it Turkey?
I think it's Turkey. Well, they're going to support him as well. He's got money coming in. He's going to have money coming in from everywhere. Okay? Zohran is up for a serious fight. So, New York, please, I beg, please, pull through.
Oh yeah, it is Turkey.
Okay, pull through on this one. This really matters. It's for anyone here, all you locals that are like, what does this even matter? Why do we care about what's happening anywhere else? That's why that thinking, that very closed-minded thinking, that's why you don't know what you're talking about. That's why. Why do we care about Gaza? Why do we? Okay. All right. Thank you for identifying yourself. Constantly misinformed. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No. You got it. I was just rolling it off there.
I just wanted to go back to Jess's message that all the Dem gatekeepers are floundering. Seeing the pundits be like, this is... unprecedented. They have so many of the same goals as Republicans to uphold capitalism, you know, that any threat to it, even when the threat is their side, supposedly, and their team, supposedly. I mean, we've seen this forever.
Time and time again.
Yeah. The floundering is wild. The way that, you know, at some point Obama's coming in and he's going to have to tell somebody. He's going to have to, you know, have a talk with someone. We can't really have this going on. Gotta have Eric Adams.
Oh my God.
We can't, though. I don't live in New York City, and Eric Adams absolutely has to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely has to go. Michelle said, shout out to ranked choice voting actually working. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they had less than 250 people on the mayoral ballot.
She followed up with, young people don't understand. You're not supposed to vote your conscience.
Definitely
You're
not.
supposed to vote for the least bad candidate that you've been told is appropriate and viable. Come on, guys.
Talk about the viability.
Get it together. Oh.
Rudo said, good morning, Rudo. The purposeful mispronouncing of Mamdani's name by palm-colored people is so cool. They're real edgy, Rudo. You know, like they're just edgy comedians out here. They're just trying to keep it real, and comedy's legal again, and so they can just like make fun. Yeah, you know, like isn't that what Elon did? He made it legal again or something.
Oh my gosh.
This text says, Zohran's "We can demand what we deserve" is a better slogan than any Act Blue BS email I've ever gotten.
Or a text message.
Yo, literally. Vote blue no matter who, baby.
Go away.
Also, I need $5.
What did the research tell them? Why this $5 situation? Anyway,
I just want to answer your question because I know you joked and said you don't want one, but there's an answer. Highly paid consultants told them that in the Biden economy,
oh God,
there is a perceived recession. So you're going to have to start small. And you know, we watched Bernie be able to get a lot of those small donations and make a bunch of money. So grassroots. Let's ask the poors for just a touch. You know, everybody's got $5. We already told you to stop getting avocado toast.
Oh, yes.
Spend it over here for once so we can save democracy.
$5 at a time.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I don't answer your question.
I feel like I'm buying a Steve Bannon brick for the wall.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's about as far as it's getting. Or, you know, handing over the reins of anything to RFK. That's, you know.
Okay. We're going to take a music break. Then we're going to come back with this RFK madness because, guys, buckle up. Buckle up, Buttercup. We are in for some stuff. Okay? Ruda also said, morning fam, y'all were my morning drive time show. Just now, Morgan is eating goat cheese on a high altitude mountaintop. Waiting for her
literally
bowl.
Want me to die.
Waiting for her bowl, Elon, to take her to Mars. Normal Thursday morning stuff.
Yeah.
XOXO Ruda.
Normal Thursday morning stuff. Yep. Earth is ghetto. I'm ready to leave.
Hello.
Beam me up.
All right, we'll catch y'all in a couple of minutes. I want to shout out to the fiancés. I want to shout out two of the fiancés. Bam. How's that work for you guys? 3 of the fiancés. Bam. That were at the show last night. one AJ, one Jim, and one Brooke. They had a great time.
Nice.
Yeah. Listen, you put some music in the room, Brooke's going to dance. Brooke's going to get her dance on. And after the show, Talib did a DJ set. He transitioned right from the encore into a DJ set.
Wow.
Asked someone to get him a drink, thanked them on the mic, and then just started spinning. And I'm like, hey, man, this is awesome. I also got to get up and do the news in the morning. So
I'm
can't stick around for too long. Yeah. For the time I was there, hey, man, he knows what he's doing. He's been DJing for like 10 years, at least. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing there. But they were partying. You hear me? I'm like, this is a Wednesday partying.
I'm tired thinking about it.
Yeah, you should be. Man. Whew. Lord have mercy.
Real quick before you start the RFK, Michelle said, absolutely agree. The small donations were an idea they took from Bernie. He was also the first candidate to make a point of his low average donation to show his support was from the 98%.
Right.
So now every Democrat in America is asking us for $5 every day while staying glued to the oligarchy. Love the commitment to missing the point.
That's a consistent thing for them, right? Just stealing.
I mean, spoil us with consistency.
Yeah.
You know, even if it sucks that what you're consistent about, at least I know you're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Predictable.
Oh my gosh. AJ said the show was great. A nice break from reality. And that's what we needed. We needed a break from reality.
Yeah. That's real.
For anyone that's unaware, a couple of years ago, in the heart of the pandemic, started a show with one Dr. Bakasi Dube called Ask a Black Doctor. And we used that platform to kind of dispel a lot of myths around COVID and vaccines, and, you know, just wanted to bring truth and awareness to the conversation. We did 2 seasons of that show. It's like 60 plus episodes back up on streaming services and all platforms. There's also a mini series, and we're I don't want to say in the middle, but we have started recording for season 3. A couple of episodes are going to start popping up soon, but you can definitely spend some time with some of the older episodes there. A lot of information on vaccines. And you're like, Ambush, you started out the show by saying you're not a medical professional. Why are we having all this conversation about vaccines now? You know why? Because RFK decided to ruin us. He decided to make the United States of America uninhabitable in 10 years. Ambush, come on, man. You're doom talking again.
You're sounding like an alarmist. Are you fear-mongering?
I might be. I also might not be. It also could just be what's happening right now. How many of you are aware of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices? How many of you ever heard of this organization? 'Twas my first time hearing of them. I'm a pretty smart guy. I read a lot of comic books. I watch a lot of science fiction shows. So at least I should have heard of this, but I haven't. They work in tandem with the CDC and the NIH. Yesterday? No. I think the day before yesterday. Whatever day of the week that is. Tuesday. Who knows? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. dismissed all 17 members of the CDC's advisory committee.
I'm sorry. I read this and that's still what?
Yeah. So this committee was established in 1964. It's an independent panel of about 15 medical and public health experts, like pediatricians, epidemiologists, immunologists, vaccinologists, infectious disease specialists. Like, they've been doing this for a while. It's kind of like the X-Men. No, I won't give them that much. Kind of like the Justice League of health. All right. Everyone's got their different expertise. They come together and boom, boom, boom. And they work in tandem again with the CDC, FDA, and NIH. They're the reason why we have, some of the great vaccine policies that we have now, and RFK has an issue with that. So he dismissed all of them. He dismissed all of them and replaced them with some friends of his.
Let me guess. Did he meet them in the wellness is a mindset Facebook group?
I believe so.
That says you can just think a good, healthy lifestyle and then and then you don't get measles?
I think it's where he met him. Is there a talk for that? Is there a wellness talk?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Anti-vax talk? That's where he met him. The pipeline
always ends with an RFK.
Right.
So good luck. Do continue.
So the ACIP, they set the guidance on who should get vaccines and when. So they're the ones that are like, okay, this is now safe for babies. This particular vaccine is safe for the elderly. Like, they're the ones regulating and doing the testing and the research to make sure we're getting the vaccines that we need every year as these different strains change. Like, this is their job. The people that RFK brought in are like vaccine schmaxines. Listen, get out there, eat healthy, eat dead bears, and work out. All right? Liver King. Like, get your life together.
For sure, just raw meat it.
Yeah. If you want help, listen, you don't just wake up healthy, okay? You want help, you got to go get it. Like anything else in this world. You bootstrap your health. You go get it. It's not going to be on us, the government, to make sure you're healthy. Pish posh.
I won't teach you how to wrestle a bear, but I will tell you that the only way to be healthy is to be able to wrestle a bear and then eat the meat raw.
Hello.
And also stay away from any of the modern medicine.
Listen, that stuff is terrible for you.
You don't need a leafy green. Just make sure you bear heart.
So, this is where my alarmist angle starts to come in. The ACIP works with our healthcare system to make sure that vaccines are available to the public for free. We are living in a time where you can go to a supermarket, you can go to a Rite Aid, you can show up at a public park. Vaccines are free. The clinics are everywhere. You could just, hey, get a vaccine. Now, a lot of us, a great majority of us, are vaccinated. We go to our doctors, we're on a vaccine schedule. With what RFK is doing now, the ACIP will not be recommending vaccines nor coverage for vaccines. So it won't be as blatant as I'm taking vaccines away. It will be, if you want a vaccine, why should we cover it? Why should the government cover you're the one that wants it? Go pay for it. I thought you guys didn't want big government. So now our vaccination rates will drop because they will no longer be free. And people got to make choices between bills and what's perceived as sometimes an invisible protection over your health. With the decrease of our vaccination rates in our population, it's an increase of disease. What happens?
Say what?
What happens when more people are sick? I don't know. Less people are working. Does anyone see where we're going right now?
Well, what about the strain on hospitals, I feel like we learned real quickly that we are not equipped to have a lot of people sick with the same thing at the same time.
No, we are not. We are not. He is trying to throw us into some Mad Max future. Like, this is horrible. Like, horrible. So now we have these 7 or 8 people that are now the new ACIP, right? They've already got dubious backgrounds.
Yeah.
And you're probably saying, well, Ambush, come on. Like, the vaccine industry is huge. Like,
Big Pharma.
Big Pharma. They're not just going to take this line down. You're right. You're right. They're going to have to now pay these people in order to get recommendations for their vaccines. Because that's how this administration works. It's just, yeah.
Wait.
It's an extortion economy.
That's tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me read this text real quick.
Do it.
It says, MAGAs are funny. MAGAs are a funny lot. First, they want everyone to keep working until they're 70, but then they want to let RFQ kill everyone before they turn 10. I call him RFQ because calling him by his given name insults his father's legacy.
I agree, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Good morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're not going to be able to make sense of that brain. You know, but it's exactly that. Everyone should have the right to work until they die. Like, we should all be fighting for that. Yeah. I definitely think we should all just, die on the job.
Yeah, at the mill.
At wherever. Yeah. Your job may be stocking shelves.
You should just...
But, you have the right to die.
You should just fall out of your Amazon truck.
Exactly.
Yeah. Package in hand.
89. Everything's still working, right? You can walk out to that truck.
Yeah. Died doing what he loved.
Doing what he loved. Everyone's got the right to work until they die, except for the people that we kill before they're 10. And that's when the real child labor laws, like we protect everyone under 10, but once you hit the double digits, baby, you can get right down in the coal mine.
Right. Get to it.
Don't you want to help your mom make bread?
Literally?
You gotta buy ingredients
Literally?
for that, bucko.
This is terrible. This is when we were done recording the episode, I was just standing there, like sitting there, eyes wide open. I looked at Makosi and I was like, and so, we do it over Zoom. Yeah. So I stopped the recording.
And then just stare at him.
And I was like, this is bad. I was like, this is bad. I gotta go play some music and I gotta change my feelings right now. This is terrible.
Gotta regulate.
Yeah. And he was like, no, this is bad because whereas people are like, it's just 4 years, he was like, the health implications is 20 years out.
Right. I don't know if you know that there's some science behind some of this stuff. There's like trends and understanding of trajectories. If X happens, Y happens,
RFK won't even be here to see how bad this gets. There isn't enough.
But he's setting the stage for a healthy nation that gets to colonize Mars.
You know what he's really setting the stage for? An alien takeover.
Death.
We're going to be a weakened population. They're going to be able to just come over here and just push us down.
Well, in all honesty, can't they do that now?
It's true. It's true. They're going to find out they're working together. Oh.
I think that it would be silly for aliens to want anything to do with us.
Anything.
I think, if anything, you, burn it down, build it back kind of situation. I think that they don't want, what do we have here that they don't have?
Bruh.
Meaning good things. We've got plenty of bad that they're like, you guys still dealing with that? That's wild. No evolution for y'all, huh? Right. Okay, well, I guess you don't deserve this planet.
Michelle said, Morgan's signature, we are cooked laugh. Hey, shout out to you. Shout out to you, MJ. Shout out to you. I forgot, shout and Elias and James. Me, Elias, and James were talking after the last No Request. And James was just saying how much he loves us, but can't listen to us. Like, he'll get in, he'll give us a heart on Monday nights and get out of there because the news just enrages him. And Elias was like, he was like, no, I get it, but they make me laugh. They find those pockets of laughter and joy within it because you have to. You got to find a way you got to be informed, but at the same time, if you can bring some levity to it, it's extremely helpful. So yeah, we're definitely cooked. And what else are you going to do about it? You got to get a chuckle in.
Yeah. Some of it is just legitimately funny because it's complete and total incompetence. And it's like, holy moly donuts, guys. You see this mediocrity going on right now? They're calling this great.
Oh my God.
They said this is the administration that means it.
Exactly.
Yikes.
Brooke said, "Oh my God, about last night. So much fun. We had to dip at midnight when Girls Just Want to Have Fun came on." Yeah, he definitely went off script, but the party was not slowing. Yeah, for sure. For sure. He definitely took a moment to shout out Portland in the way of our activism here. He said, on my way from the airport, I saw graffiti all over the place that was like F Trump and Free Palestine. He was like, I love it out here. Man comes through and compliments the graffiti that they're trying to get rid of.
Which is amazing. I was going to say, was it just last Thursday we were talking about how, somebody, what's his face? Keith Wilson said, our freeways are like the welcome mat
right.
to visitors. We gotta make it cute out here. None of that graffiti. We gotta live, laugh, love it, baby.
No, right. Ooh, that would be a hard piece if somebody did that. The live, laugh, love, but a
tag.
That would be hard. That would be tight. Kenneth said RFK Jr. sounds like the sugar water guy from Men in Black. The first one. Who was Vincent D'Onofrio?
Oh, this is where I say I've never seen any of the Men in Blacks.
You never seen any of the Men in Black?
No. Are there 8?
There's like 3.
Oh, none of them.
Wow. Do you know the line dance?
Do I know the what?
The line dance for Men in Black.
Maybe. I might not know it as the Men in Black line dance. I don't know. I'd have to see it.
All right. Okay, guys. So on movie night, I'll be watching Men in Black with Morgan Jones.
Probably not.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, unless Kenneth is about to tell me that it's a, required viewing. I don't
must view.
I think I've done well without it. I've also not seen The Wild West with Will Smith,
Okay. Wild Wild West was okay. Do you know that line dance? I'm just gonna keep asking you.
I know every song on the soundtrack is the Stevie Wonder song.
Yeah, facts. Kenneth also said, "Build it down and burn it down and build it back." Sounds like what's happening. Yeah.
I hope we can get to the point where we are building it back. Better or whatever they said.
AJ is a full mess.
Uh-oh.
She said, to love Portland's performative activism, I want those rose-colored glasses. They sell them at the airport.
And they're shaped like roses, too. I'm telling you. Okay, maybe we should take a music break.
I'm totally up for it.
Okay, wait. Brooke says the first Men in Black is pretty epic. I'd pass on the Wild Wild West.
Brooke!
Pretty epic. Okay, let me ask this as we go into a music break. Pretty epic with 2025 glasses on? Like, I just got new glasses. I can see everything. I can see an 18K. Y'all don't even have that yet. You know what I'm saying? Technicolor is old technology, baby. I see in X-ray.
What y'all know? I'm at X-ray seeing in X-ray.
Yes.
What y'all know about it?
What y'all know? I see literally directly into you. Is it epic from here? Or is it epic from the day it was launched? I don't know what year that was. Was it in the 1900s?
Listen, Men in Black is classic material. Men in Black 2, great follow-up. I think 3 is when we got Rosario Dawson, which was like, oh, okay, cool, way to cap it all off. But the cameos, Michael Jackson's in Men in Black 1.
A hologram or actual Michael Jackson?
No, Mike's in it. Yeah.
I can't believe you just called him Mike like that. That seems...
disrespectful?
A little over the line. I don't know.
Sorry,
I didn't like it.
Oh. Yeah, sorry, I apologize.
Do you call him Mike?
Yeah.
Mike Jackson?
Well, I don't care. I don't do both. It's Michael Jackson. Sir Michael Jackson.
Or just Mike?
Mike. He's one of the guys.
Wow, you're friends.
Mike Jordan.
Never that. You've never said Mike Jordan.
You like Mike? Mike. Rudo, back me up quick. I need a text. Back me up, Rudo. We call him Mike. Just back me up. Just don't.
I don't know if this is Rudo or not, but somebody definitely said that Ambush is getting jiggy with it.
Should be Rudo. Yes. Yes. It is Rudo. Thank you. I was getting jiggy with it. It was great. It was great music.
I wasn't prepared. I didn't know that you called him Mike. I really wasn't upset.
Yeah, I know. It's great though. You're like, oh, what?
Yeah, it just sounded, a little too informal.
Okay. Fair. You say one thing, Ambush can't understand, man. And it's why this job is so joyous and hilarious. But we got a text from Bob that MJ's going to read. It's going to break it all down.
Bob killing it yet again.
That's what Bob does.
Bob said, about humor and laughter in dark times, this quote, "It is the duty of the humor of any given nation in time of high crisis to attack the catastrophe that faces it in such a manner as to cause the people to laugh at it in such a way that they do not die before they get killed."
Bro.
Lord Buckley.
Bro.
That's where we at.
That's where we are.
Also, just to bring back the Mike Jackson conversation, Rudo definitely chimed in to say his mama called him Mike. I'ma call him Mike. And you know what? You win. You win.
You got that, Roots.
Yeah. I was just a little surprised. I just
mama called him Mike.
I just wasn't prepared.
So I see here we got new intel turns out this to be fan fiction. MJ, what exactly is Data Boot?
Well, let me tell you. We are, we're just running it back. We're just doing the same playbook. We just call it, Project 2025 or something. Okay. We just call it something else, but it's same thing.
Just call it current administration.
Yeah, we're just dusting off the old same.
Yeah, because it worked.
Because it's previously worked, and why? If you've learned anything from a think tank, it's don't try and reinvent the wheel. But
right. We're not wasting time here.
We're not here to do that.
No, this is kid tested and approved.
Yeah,
mother approved.
Absolutely. And Mikey does like it.
Yeah.
So after illegally striking Iran, the Trump administration is now claiming that last weekend's airstrikes were a total success, which I'm sure you guys were already on board with. Yeah, total
you
success.
That. You knew that.
Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. And, we could end there.
Yeah, we should end there. We actually should.
Gabbard, whatever. I want to mispronounce her name on purpose, and I don't.
I want Clayface to read the news. Tulsi, come on.
That's what we need. Yes, so Tulsi Gabbard is Director of National Intelligence, and CIA Director John Ratcliffe are out here saying that Iran's nuclear sites have been destroyed. And that if Iran wants nukes again, they're going to have to rebuild everything from scratch. It'll take years. Don't even worry about it. If this sounds familiar, that's probably because it is. 20 years ago, we were told that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, and we invaded, we occupied, we destabilized a whole region, only to find that those weapons never existed. And I guess we didn't find that. I think there were people that knew it already, Now it's a different country, same script, and this time they're not even trying to be clever with it. And no time are they really being too clever. It's just, a different lie. So what actually happened this time, you're asking me, Ambush?
I would love to know.
Well, a leaked document, a report from the Defense Intelligence Agency says that Iran's nuclear program was only delayed by a few months by this airstrike, by this illegal strike that we have taken against this country. And that most of their uranium was already moved before the bombs were dropped. The UN nuclear watchdog even admitted they lost visibility of that material, which, if you're wondering, is a diplomatic way to say we don't know where it is. We can't see it no more.
Bruh.
And how does the Trump administration respond? Not with evidence, not with accountability, but you guessed it, more secrecy, because why would I tell you what I'm doing, besties? I'm not going to do that. They're now trying to limit classified briefings to Congress, meaning even elected officials are being kept in the dark. They, bombed Iran and then was like, just trust us. Just go with it, guys. We're gonna, you'll see.
Even though we're supposed to get permission from you before we do any of this, we now want to be able to just not even tell you after the fact.
If you just are patient and wait, you'll see.
So let's do our job.
We did it right.
Wait for the TPS report.
Yeah, but also don't, because that report is probably wrong, because it's not going to say that what I did was right.
Wait for the TPS report. Also don't, because mind your business.
Yeah. And, trust me.
Yeah.
When have I lied to you before?
Oh, my God.
So the timeline will be real quick because, it's only the 26th of June, and this is all in this same month. So earlier this month, Israel bombs Iranian targets in Syria and Iraq. Iran responds with missiles, drones, and direct strikes. Mm-hmm. They hit right outside of Tel Aviv. Holy moly donuts.
Yeah.
Then what? Last week, we do a link up, The U.S. and Israel.
Drop the locations.
Hey, get together with your sneaky link,
Not your sneaky link.
You
meet up behind the Walmart or the IKEA.
Handle the scandal.
Hello.
Well, so they linked up and hit 3 nuclear sites in Iran and then claimed they were destroyed because that is the playbook. I did the bomb zines and it worked, and everybody should be really excited for me.
Wow.
Well, then a Defense Intelligence Agency report leaked saying actually Iran can rebuild what was destroyed in months. You really didn't. You used the wrong bunker busters, I guess. I don't know. Like you didn't get what you thought you did.
Shout out to the leaker.
Well, and now, there's suddenly new intelligence saying the exact opposite, and that everything's destroyed and it's for years. And you guys are all going to have to work really hard with, rebuilding from scratch all of your nuclear capabilities.
This is what's so weird about that for them. If you want to continually communicate that this country is a threat, why would you say you've already neutralized them and they're nothing to worry about?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have an answer for you on that one. Yeah, because this has never been about safety or defense, so maybe that part of it, like Israel wants to weaken Iran and maintain dominance in the region. The U.S. wants to keep the war machine going. Right. We just got to churn, baby.
Yeah. No matter what.
Got to fund those contractors and distract from our domestic failures and protect American global influence. Trump wants a legacy. He doesn't know which one yet, but he'd totally take wartime president if he could. He wants a boost of popularity to whatever campaign he's running, whatever meme coin is about to him in a general's hat.
Whatever new Bible version he's about to drop.
Right. He wants the news cycle back. He wants to be in control. They're selling Iran as a looming nuclear threat, but to your point, even there's no evidence that they're building a bomb.
Right.
And they're trying to scare Americans into backing another endless war. And again, never forget.
Running it right back.
If Iran, and this is what I want, folks, because the headlines are wild and the talking points are wild, where it's like, well, these insurgents and these cells of people that want to say death to America. If Iran were to retaliate here, it wouldn't be missiles in the sky. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'd be cyber attacks. It'd be the power grid. It'd be financial systems, proxy strikes, the kind of warfare that already happens and is happening right now. The kind of, it just is in the background. But cable news can't really package or dramatize that, so you don't hear about the ongoing, warfare that is retaliation to our destabilization. So I just, we're not we can't fall for this.
No.
This is there might have been some childs left behind around here, but one thing Bush taught a whole generation was never forget. And we can't. We just will not.
No.
And it isn't the part they want us to remember, The way that this... Oh, sorry. Wait, real quick. We got a text that says, Trump's gold-plated NFT pogs are fire, though.
Who is this? Who's... Oh, Rudo.
And the other one, this might be Bob, says, this is why the only news source I trust anymore is The Onion. They're the only ones accurately reporting what's really going on. Is that Bob?
Yes, Bob.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is wild. And I know for folks that are older than me that have also seen this happen more times than I have seen it happen, have to be like, here we go again. I can't get over it. I cannot get over it. How you don't even have to get creative. You don't have to do anything new.
No.
You just, pop in that same old tape.
Yeah. The peanut
they got stuff that's scary over there. And because they're scary to us,
they got to be scary to you.
They got to be scary to you, and you got to understand how scary it all is for all of us.
Do something about it right now. No, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. They're bringing back all the Dave Chappelle skits now from when he played president. Oh. It was like Yellow Cake. What? Oil.
They got oil. Who got oil where? Yeah. Exciting times.
Oh.
Would you like to music break before we get into this city council, or do you? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
I think it's a good call. And they find something here. Maybe a little Sango. I don't know. No, I'm going to keep us in the reggae tunes.
Okay. BRB.
Wait, are you going to play? Because that'd be cool. Oh. Maybe you don't want to BRB.
Technology really giving Ambush a run for his money today.
Technology.
Unsure. And you're persistent.
All right. So now I got to play a different song.
Wow.
Oh, nope. All right, guys, give me 1 sec. I'm going to do a refresh, and then I'm going to be able to play whatever I want because the refresh is going to work.
That's exactly how technology always works, isn't it?
Let me tell you something right now. It is very, very difficult for me to cut Easy Lover short, but we don't have a lot of time left on the show. But it's Easy Lover. You daggone right, Rudo. Every chance I get. Every chance I get. And I need you to find out whether Phil did the drums on that, because it's got a really Phil Collins drum-esque feel to it. Well, so, Rudes, if you could look that up, that'd be great. But
my money's on yes.
Yeah. Phillip Bailey was like, listen, I got all the words, I got the riff, but Phil, I need you in backgrounds, and I need you on the skins.
Shout out to AJ who said "Nuck if you buck" would be appropriate.
I saw that earlier and I guffawed, and I think I got to remember to read that when we get back. AJ, I don't have a clean version of "Nuck if you buck." Also, I don't. Okay, maybe it would be appropriate.
Completely appropriate for after this,
yeah.
But
yeah. Hi, yeah.
One real quick question: P-Town, are you around?
Girl,
where you at, babe?
Where you and Bella? What y'all doing?
Checking in.
Checking in, man.
Are Thursdays different for you now?
Yeah.
Did you leave us?
She was like, listen, I'm a Monday gal now.
Maybe. So we got very short time,
Yeah.
but very important story to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City council did some flip-flopping. Still fails on equity, though. And that was fast. 3 weeks after recognizing structural inequities in the process and remanding allocation of the Portland Children's Levy, over $60 million in funding for after-school programs, food access, and child abuse prevention, City Council just did a full 180. After outrage from nonprofit providers and interesting coverage in local papers, they voted unanimously to reinstate the very funding they paused, along with apologies. We got it wrong. We need to do better.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
The damage wasn't just a clerical error or an oopsie. The decision to remand the funds in the first place wasn't about delaying support for children. It spotlighted a deeper, more cynical problem, and City Council had the opportunity to fight for equity and instead chose division. Rather than reforming their funding process to actually center smaller, community-rooted, Black and brown-led organizations, fingers started pointing. They pitted Black and brown orgs against each other, suggesting that one group's funding came at the expense of another's. That's not equity, that's just status quo politics dressed up as racial justice. The problem isn't that groups like Equitable Giving Circle or SEI spoke up about inequity. The problem is that Portland leaders, when faced with real-time feedback on how power and funding are still being hoarded by white-led institutions, chose to hit the brakes on everyone rather than pause and fix the process. So yes, it's good that the funding is back. Kids need those programs, but don't get it twisted. The bigger story here is how this city continues to conflate equity with equality, silence dissent, and preserve the comfort of established institutions at the expense of community power. As one nonprofit leader put it, this wasn't about equity. This was about power. And now that the dust is settled, we're still asking, who does that power serve? Because it's sure not the kids they claim to be about. Bruh.
I have so many feelings about this, Ambush.
Yeah, samesies. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say I gained a lot of education on the Portland Children's Levy over the last month or so.
Yeah.
In my work with EGC, and just really got educated on that process. And some of the things that came out were very alarming. And apparently, to at least half of the commissioners, it was alarming to them as well. The counselors,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. So to see this flip-flop, the first thing that threw me off, I won't say threw me off, but kind of ticked me off, was the Willamette Week story. And then followed by the Oregonian story. And I'm like, and then there was some chatter on Facebook as well.
Yeah. And
I'm like, you guys don't see this divide and conquer? You really don't see, you're making this about your organization.
Right.
When all of these organizations, there's so many organizations that are being cheated.
Well, but this is what we are within the structure of capitalism, and nonprofits are still working within that framework, right? So there's still a crabs in the barrel situation. We're still going to be
scarcity model.
Exactly. We're still going to be yelling at each other before we're yelling at the people that actually have the power to change the circumstances.
Right.
This text says, I'm stuck that not only did they pit Black orgs against each other, but white-led orgs still got over $10 million to not serve our children.
Right.
Here's the thing. We have talked about this a lot, and we will continue to talk about it until we do not have this problem, until it's not as prevalent. Not understanding what the actual goal, and the actual goal being equity, not equality.
Right.
misunderstanding what we're actually going for is going to forever and always skew the outcome. And I'm being nice by saying misunderstanding because I don't think that that's true. But I'm trying not to be accusatory to, a large group of people.
Right.
I don't think that the city council was trying to get this wrong, but I do not think that they took the time to get it right.
Yeah, agreed.
And there was this immediate thought that okay, well, if we pause this, it's going to be really hard for all of these other groups. It's going to take us a full year to do this all over again. Instead of going back to, the PCL committee and saying, here's what we have, designated as or recognized as issues within the process.
Right.
We need to see these things changed. And coming up with a timeline that would make it at least, least impactful to the orgs that were receiving funds or expecting to receive funds. Instead of doing this, it'll take a year, so we'll then extend the funding, but less 25%. And this, the way that they were throwing those kind of things out just on the first, in that first meeting, I was like, you guys nobody needs to be throwing out the strategies. It's too soon to be saying these are the things that we're going to do. They needed to acknowledge that there was legitimate process concerns. This looks
and communicate what those concerns were.
And communicate what those concerns are and how they would do something to do it differently.
Right.
Temporarily pause those grants. Fund the grants that they could. Fix the review process without defunding or, I don't even mean to use that word, but you can review the process without pausing funding to the entire community.
Right.
But they didn't do that. And this is the kind of thing that requires a lot of nuance and a lot of courage and a lot of imagination. And it looked like y'all had some for a second because you were willing to pause and say, wait a minute. There's some things that aren't right. To do a complete and total fold and just be like, Novak's like, I've spent my career apologizing and I'll keep doing it, sometimes to the detriment, blah, blah, blah. I do appreciate apologies. I do appreciate when people know that they got it wrong and they are sorry about it and they're doing something to move forward.
Right.
You being quick to run to an apology does not move me if then the actions don't do better. This was, I got it wrong, but I'm going to still get it wrong with my action.
Right.
And the way that they're framing this as if there were just this little, 2 to 4 orgs that were just the squeaky wheels that were about to ruin it for everybody. And they're the sour grapes type vibe, right? That is pitting community against each other. Yeah. That is saying if you speak up, you will not get. You will also be the problem child, and we will continue to talk about you in derogatory ways.
Yep.
In this council, outside of this council.
Yep.
Which you think that does what for those reputations of those community organizations that absolutely are serving the communities that you are not.
Right.
Or that you claim to, or that you say you want to.
The unanimous vote also makes this process bulletproof moving forward. It also sets that precedent. Half of us were like, oh, there's a problem here. Under further review, we got it wrong. Sorry, nothing to see here. You've made this process bulletproof moving forward. How can you position yourself to scrutinize it or find any issue with it moving forward when when half of you were like, nothing to see here, and the other half was like, something to see here, oops, our bad. Those guys were right. Here. Nothing to see here. This can't be brought back up.
When you talk about a process being rooted in equity or having, Black and brown leadership, in the strategic process,
Right.
you also have to talk about, tell the whole story. You have to talk about what gets pulled out, what got stripped from those plans.
Right.
What did PCL decide to move forward with?
Right.
How much of a hand did Dan Ryan have in saying, yeah, we will and we won't use these guidelines? You got to tell the whole story, because it isn't just that this was a foolproof plan that was guided by the sage black and brown people of the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
And everybody needs to listen to those voices when you have stripped it and you have changed what the original plan was. So the plan isn't rooted in equity anymore. And if your goal, your stated goal is equity, but the thing you're doing is, it's not even equality, but like close to, or you're doing inclusion, you're not going to get the same result. You're not going to get the goal. We're taking a path to two different places.
Right. We're doing the Portland thing here, guys. We're Portlanding hard.
It's super silly.
Yeah.
And too many of these people are too smart to be falling for that trap. And I mean that as the city councilors, and I mean that as the nonprofit leads that were sitting there talking about, you want to be listening to, you said you would lead by community. The community cannot be business owners and nonprofit leaders only. That cannot be the community. Especially if your nonprofit isn't serving enough of the kids that we're talking about.
Right. Right.
And this idea that like, saying I got it wrong without saying how you got it wrong, without saying what you would do differently, doesn't fly. This isn't enough. This isn't good.
No.
It is, and you have to like understand that these kind of things are never going to be clean cut. It is going to be very messy.
Yeah, it's
when you are pointing out how there's still inequities, there's still systemic racism, there's still systemic bias happening within even your strategic plan that is supposed to not do it. It's going to be messy. It's going to take a pause. It's going to take a reread. But that shouldn't take a year. And your fix should never go to the extreme, because you did not take a year to come up with it.
Right.
And by that, I mean, you took however long, because it could have taken way longer than a year, but it took you less than a year to strip it. It took you less than a year to change it. It took less than 2 cycles for you to make it a completely different model. When a mistake has been made, then you don't get to take your sweet time. You have to feel that sense of urgency.
Right.
You at the PCL have to work the midnight oil now. And you have to get Dan Ryan, who has a complete and total bias, off of that allocation committee. Because he doesn't serve the community he claims to, and he doesn't care for the community that he claims to. So being a part of the allocation committee and how they decide to give that money is, in fact, a problem. That's one of the systemic issues that they need to pay attention to. And y'all should have paused a little longer before you decided, okay, let's just forget about it all and say we're sorry and call it a day.
Right. Sorry, do you have bigger fish to fry or something? Got other things you need to be doing? You're listening to X-Ray FM at KXRY Portland at 91.1 and 107.1 FM, and in the Hale and Wheeler, Manzanita and Rockaway Beach at 91.7 FM, streaming online everywhere at xray.fm. Guys, we made it. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of News with My Fiancé. Morgan Jones and myself, DJ Ambush, and our illustrious podcast editor, Kyle G at Residual Audio. Thank you for everyone that texted in. Kyle's going to make sure we get all these texts added to the description. The playlist is updated. And we're good to go. Thank you so much. Great show, babe. Great show.
I just want to end on this text says, can we talk about how the equity consultant they fired in 2019 said they was off script and lost the plot, and they acknowledged that and kept on. That's
Hello.
my point.
Hello. Don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people. None of us are free until we are all free. No war but class war. Thank you so much for listening. And we will see you this weekend at My People's Market, because we're hosting that, John. Hosting Terrence.
Yep. Yay. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bye.